Hello, dear friends, and welcome to Kardec Radio. 24 hours, always nourishing our souls. We are so grateful to be together, enlightening our spirits for immortality. Today, our teacher, professor, as our dear sunshine always reminds us, is Andre Lewis. As you may remember, we are starting a new journey. We are now studying together the book Liberation. And this is a very beautiful journey because it will allow all of us to identify ourselves with the true accounts that Andre Lewis provides, and in this way empower our spirits to free ourselves from the shackles that we have created in the past, in the words of Emmanuel. This book was brought to us from the on high as an act of mercy and divine love in order to teach us to seek the good, visualize the good, feel the good, and mold the good with all the resources that we have at hand. And to help us connect even further with the divine source of goodness, here comes our beloved sunshine, always shining from coast to coast. Hello, sunshine.
Hi, Carol. So nice to see you, to be
Nice to
here.
see you. Good morning. Thank you for shining through.
Yes.
Would you like to please kindly guide us through an opening prayer, Sunshine?
Yes, certainly.
Thank you,
Thank you,
dear
Carol.
friend.
Thank you. So we invite you to close your eyes if you can, and focusing on our hearts and minds, we consciously connect to the higher realms, to divine providence, to Jesus, our guide and model, Mother Mary, the mother of all mothers. And we are connecting with the mentors of Kardec Radio with gratitude. And we are also connecting to the mentors of this study group and our own personal mentors who are so dedicated and lovingly by our sides, helping us to stay on course towards love. We are excited to gather this morning with gratitude to learn new lessons about the interface of our lives on earth with the spirit life, with the spirits on the other side, who we live together in one form or another. Andre Louise will teach us as to how to protect ourselves, how to guide ourselves towards the good, and how we can be of assistance to others always. And with this, and an open heart and mind, we ask humbly for permission to start today's gathering. And so be it.
So be it. Thank you, beautiful sunshine.
Thank you, beautiful Carol. Thanks so much.
Hello, Nora Brazil, who has already
Hello.
joined us.
Hello, Nora. Thank you for being here. What a pleasure.
Much love to you, beautiful child of God. Welcome, welcome. And now our beautiful sunshine is going to allow her light to shine all the more by providing us with a summary of our journey thus far so that we can enjoy Andrea Lewis's teachings even more. Thank you,
Thank you,
sunshine.
Carol. Yes. Yeah, this is such an incredible book that we are working on now with so many lessons. Just a quick overview about over the whole book is that André Louise in this particular piece of work is teaching, explaining to us the work of the high order spirits in an effort to convert the spirit Gregorio, who is a lower order spirit, and the conversion is towards the good. This work then culminates in the unforgettable, amazing gathering between his mother, who is a very high order spirit, and him. And he eventually surrenders to the irresistible call of love. It's a beautiful moment. André Louise, furthermore, teaches us of how unhappy, lower evolved spirits have an influence on us, incarnates. And André Louise also explains how the intercession of high order spirits on behalf of the incarnates and discarnates spirit looks like. And it's always with the goal to help the spirits to be free through A, study, B, labor, through study and labor and continuous service for the good. In other words, divine compassion at work. And the main protagonists are, of course, André Louise, who is reporting to us, and his friend or sidekick Elio, who comes along with him. Then there is Mentor Gubbio, and there's Gregorio, who is the lower order spirit, who is the main character in this book, who is being helped, and among others, of course, primarily by his mother Matilda, who is a very, very high order spirit. And then there is another character, Margarita. So this is just a little, how should I say, teaser about the whole book. But now we want to focus on chapter 1. Chapter 1 is essentially a lecture by Gubbio, instructor Gubbio. And it is an incredible piece of art. You're warmly invited to read it, because the more you read it, I've experienced it myself, the more you find pieces, new pieces. It's like a detective work. So here is a fairly coarse summary, just so we know what it's all about. So André and instructor Gubbio, actually I made a mistake, instructor Gubbio and André. The lecture is not by instructor Gubbio. I apologize. It's actually by Minister Flaccus, who is an even higher level spirit. So André and instructor Gubbio attend this lecture by Minister Flaccus. And the main focus, the overriding image, the overriding message is to explain to us in greater and different details with a different flashlight on different aspects, the law of attraction, the law of affinity. And it is particularly with reference to the lower zones and us. So the vast spiritual empire that exists beyond Earth consists of millions of lower order spirits. Now, we're just focusing on the lower order spirits. Of course, there's other colonies of much higher order. But right now in this chapter, it's about the lower order colonies that exist in the spirit, on the spirit side. There is millions of imperfect spirits, and they live all in symbiosis with our incarnate minds. So they live in symbiosis with our incarnate minds. These lower order spirits seek to rule over Earth. They discredit the divine grandeur. They're proud, rebellious, criminal, and very intelligent. They stir up tyranny and power-hungry people on Earth. They are aggressive and suggestive, and their strategy is dueling. It's a struggle of thought. It's imposing their point of views, their rebelliousness and criminal-mindedness on us humans. But let's keep it in mind, we're never victims, right? Law of affinity. So after discarnation, spirits organize in vast colonies of hatred, immoral, and moral misery. Now that is, of course, only the spirits, according to Minister Flaccus, who are on the earth plane of a lower order. Because as we discarnate, we will be the same people, so to speak. Our minds, our sentiments, our moral education, our moral level of education will still be the same. So after discarnation, as we are lower order incarnates, we tend to organize in vast colonies of hatred and moral misery. Furthermore, Minister Flaccus tells us that the spirits in these colonies are fighting amongst themselves for control over Earth. They're also desiring the debasement of the divine process in general. And furthermore, they're keeping Earth distracted. They're keeping Earth distracted in darkness. And what they are stirring up in us is ignorance, selfishness, and pride. So when we discarnate, if we have been following the road towards the good, we will be singing glorious hymns of praise. Or if we have succumbed to follow the more evil path, the more unconscious path, then we will fall into spiritual darkness after our discarnation. We then attach ourselves to those who we are attuned with their strong intelligence, they will dominate us. In other words, when we discarnate, we will be finding ourselves in the colonies of like-mindedness, law of affinity. And then we will be connecting ourselves to human minds, the incarnated human minds of the same affinity, and with the goal of dominating the incarnates. We incarnates are surrounded always by lower order spirits in our homes, but only always if we emit similar thoughts and feelings, law of affinity. If we are praying a lot and following the good and following Jesus and practicing the good, studying the good and practicing the good, we are more protected. But what Minister Flaccus is saying to us, a lot of us don't do that here on earth. And if we don't, then we are constantly surrounded by these spirits that we just explained, that Minister Flaccus explained to us, because they're just waiting for an open door to latch themselves onto us with the goal of dominating us. These lower zones constantly undergo changes as well. Of course, everything law of progress, everything is in movement in this universe, but it constantly gets repopulated, these zones, by new spirits. The superior spirits helping the inferior spirits need to use different methods. So there is higher order spirits who are, as we know, always looking to help the lower order spirits, because they are working for the good. But one thing Minister Flaccus explains to us is that these higher order spirits cannot use the same methods that the lower order spirits use to dominate us. Because if they used the same methods, then they would be lowering themselves to the level of the lower order spirits. So in other words, the higher order spirits are not only influencing the lower order spirits through the power of thought or the power of the word. So it is not all mental. But there is one other ingredient that is the key to the transformation that higher order spirits are using, which is not available yet to the lower order spirits. What could that be? One major ingredient, and that is love. Love is needed to change the inner tone of the lower order spirits, and that's how the higher order spirits facilitate the transformation. Then Minister Flaccus draws a parallel to planet Earth, and he says that the standard education on Earth goes from the outside in. But the education that the higher order spirits are employing goes from the inside out. So this is a really important information that we're learning in this chapter. The difference of the directions of different education methods. So regular education from the outside in, but the higher orders education that the higher order spirits are employing goes from the inside out. For example, in the Greater World by Andre Louie's, instructor Calderado teaches us that if knowledge helps on the outside, only love helps on the inside. So this is really important. Knowledge helps on the outside, love on the inside. So then Minister Flaccus explains to us further. Here on earth, the instructions that have been taken place on planet Earth for the salvation, with the intention for the salvation of planet Earth, have been on the whole mechanical. Mechanical, displayed by politicians, by venerable leaders, by bosses in corporations, and of course also in schools for children and young adults. So on the whole, according to Minister Flaccus, the education on planet Earth is mechanical, which means from the outside in. And it's not effective, according to him, for the eternal being. The inner transformational aspect is amiss, according to him. These are not my words. And then he brings a number of examples that are very interesting. He cites Pericles, Alexander the Great, Augustus the Divine, Constantine the Great, Napoleon, and Pasteur. And he explains how much good they had done for society, for the world. But not all of what they've done was for the good. Somewhere along the line, they surrendered to the evil forces, because their instructions were coming from the outside in. And then he reminds us that we incarnates have had reason for 40,000 years already. And we're very intelligent, but we're still moral brutes. And that's rather harsh, and it's not with judgment. It is just an educational piece for us to later on maybe look at it. And it is because we are primarily surrendering to a mechanical education. He says our minds on earth are delusional. Nevertheless, law of progress allows us to move ahead. We always transform. We become more intelligent. We transform, we move, we progress. So while we advance in our progress, we rely on each other, according to Minister Flaccus. That means the lower kingdoms and the higher kingdoms rely on each other. And the example he's using to make that clear is plants cooperate and rely on minerals. Animals rely on plants. Humans rely on plants and animals, and assist also other humans, rely on other humans. We're meant to live in society, so we live together to learn, to help. So this is really interesting to see how another perspective he's giving us that we may not have thought about earlier before is how we're interdependent, how we relate to each other, and how we rely on each other, which later on, of course, then explains how the higher order spirits are helping the lower order spirits, right? Then he gives the example of Jesus. Jesus who shines, he says. He shines sublime teachings. And he says he lived an exemplary life. And in this statement alone, we see the two aspects of education, right? Jesus taught, but he also exemplified a pristine lifestyle. He was practicing his teachings. He was practicing it. So his teachings were for the immortal part of us. It was not an education from the outside in. It was an education from the inside out. So then Minister Flaccus is asking a key question. He's saying, so why does God not put an end to these colonies of lower zones? And we're asking the same question, maybe we have the same question. We're asking maybe, why does God doesn't put an end to the coronavirus? Why doesn't God put an end to so many things in our lives, right? So this is really, really a key question. And what is the answer? The answer is the reason why God doesn't put an end to these colonies is justice. It is justice. It's the law of cause and effect in action. There's two aspects to divine providence's work. It's justice and love. We have the last law in the Spirit's book. It's the law of justice, love, and charity. They go together. But this particular lecture, Minister Flaccus reminds us, is displaying and explaining how justice works. So why does God not put an end to these colonies? Well, he says justice. It's the mechanism of justice that he explains through two diamonds in the rough get polished by rubbing up against each other. So one diamond cleans up, makes another shiny. He says evil gets corrected by evil. So this is a very interesting, teaching he gives us here. He really opens our minds. So he says also justice works through apparent injustice. Justice works through apparent injustice. And now we can kind of get an idea why God doesn't put an end to these colonies. It's because these spirits come together and they improve by rubbing up against each other in their different manifestations and in their work. We are at this point, maybe we can talk about it later, about the penal code that we know about in heaven and hell, of how then more evilly inclined spirits can actually break out. But let us stay on this chapter here. So while we're on Earth, we are, as we know, battling with each other. Planet Earth is a fairly combative planet still on our consciousness level. And he explains it like flesh and blood. We're battling with flesh and blood. Jesus and Paul of Tarsus, on the other hand, is always giving the opposite example, explaining the first one. So while we're on Earth, we still battle with each other. And it's a battle on this plane, on the blood and flesh level. However, Jesus and Paul of Tarsus recognize that the battle, really, the true battle, is really against the powers of the darkness. So the true battle is against the power of darkness, the rulers of the darkness, the authorities that are representing the darkness. And we know that Jesus always spoke that the kingdom of heaven is not of this world. So the direction is always to look the spirit realm. Jesus did not manipulate the passions of the crowds, Minister Flaccus reminds us of. He was not directing his battle towards blood and flesh. Jesus kept the distance from the political decrees and orders. Albeit, he was respecting them. He was respectful, but he did not indulge in a blood and flesh battle. He wasn't battle. He was not confronting them face to face. He was working with the forces. He was creating the kingdom of God that is not of this world. So working for the kingdom of God does not depend, consequently, on outward commitments, according to Minister Flaccus. The kingdom of God, however, depends on individualism, he says. He says the individual that is then attuned to goodwill and self-denial. So how do we create the kingdom of heaven? It is through our own inner transformation, one by one, individually. We work on our own selves, and then, so to speak, we will be the change that we want to see on the outside world. But it is not through confrontation. And this is how the so-called evil, ignorant forces work. They work through confrontation. But Jesus and Paul of Tarsus and many others knew already that that was not the right path. So then Minister Flaccus asks us, where does our redemption lie then? Where does our redemption lie? He asks, where does our redemption lie? And we want to know. And the answer he gives us too. He says, our redemption lies in our soul-focused education versus the mind-focused education. So these are his words. This is his recipe. Our redemption lies in the soul-focused education. What does soul-focused education mean? And he explains that too. So he says the soul-focused education is the one that goes from the inside out. Remember, we talked about the two types of education. The regular one is the mechanical one, the one that's most widely spread here on earth, and is also coming from the evil spirits towards us, is from the outside in. But the true education is from the inside out, the so-called soul-focused education, the one that Jesus and Paul of Tarsus and others employed, used. So soul-focused in the education is doing the good. This is one example. It's understanding that our salvation lies in doing the good. We undo the shackles that we have formed against our own soul by doing the good, helping those that are temporarily numbed by evil. This is his list. This is Minister Flacker's list, not mine. He also says, loving, love, 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 love that is felt, love that is believed in, love that is lived by. The only means to give birth to love is to love our neighbors. That is the primary practice of love on this planet, for us to practice loving our neighbors. That is the key, according to him. He says there's never any strictness in the soul-focused education. The strictness belongs to teachers, he says. There's no curriculum either, he says. And there's no redemptive plan. And that stands in contrast to the education that's from the outside in, the mind-focused education. Now, it is important to say that there's nothing wrong with the mind-focused education. We need both. But he is just making a point of explaining to us, in dealing with the darker forces, the importance of the soul-focused education that the higher spirits employ in order to help the lower order spirits. And of course, again, we know we need both, right? But since we are more amiss on the soul-focused education, I think that might be the reason why Minister Flackers is focusing on that. So due to the law of affinity, we now are starting to understand that hell is not just a place out in the open space after our discarnation. It's not a place where we go. Hell is really, according to Minister Flackers, a matter of spiritual direction. It is where we have and how we have attuned ourselves to and with. Where is our attunement? Where does our affinity lie? Hell is a matter of spiritual direction, according to him. And he defines Satan as the perverse intelligence. So Satan is not a person. It's not one spirit. It is an intelligent that's perverted. And that can be expressed by any one of us at any given time. And then evil, he defines, is the use of our energy contrary to Jesus's design. He says it's a waste of time, and that is ignorance. So what we can take away from this beautiful, rich in introduction that is so much richer than I can even begin to transmit. These are just the highlights I was trying to summarize. But the single most important thing is what? It's love. Once again, we're reminded, and we know it already, but we're reminded in a new way by Minister Flackers how important it is for us to love. And it is in the chapter 30 by Emmanuel in the book Thought and Life, where the crowning chapter Emmanuel spends on explaining to us all the different facets of love, that we want to just pick out a few of them, just so that we can create a resonance with the beauty of love, which is something that divine providence is surrounding us with, is created us out of. It's this intelligent, universal, cosmic fluid. It's divine plasma that we are made out of and are surrounded with. And if we really meditate on this concept that we are all part of this, It is just opening our hearts and helping us to be more tolerant and accepting. So, in this chapter 30, Emmanuel is reminding us that love is the Creator's reflection in all creatures. It's the Creator's reflection in all creatures. It shines forth in everything. Can we imagine that? That love is part of everything. It shines forth in everything. How beautiful is that? And then he reminds us it's the reflection of God. Love is the reflection of God. Love is God. God is love. It is the breath of God. Love is the breath of God. Love is the foundation of life. Love is the vibration of wisdom and beauty. Love is harmony. Love is exalting the glory of the infinite. It's exalting the glory of the infinite. So beautiful. Love is the foundation of all desire for solidarity amongst mankind. So much in contrast with the troubled lower order spirits, right? Then he says, love is the silent hope of heaven, so patiently waiting for us to understand and practice. Love is blessing. Love is assistance. Love is compassion. Love is tolerance. Love is understanding. And love is respects our free will always. Hence the education from the inside out. It's gentle, never imposing, always giving us time, always respectful, just as Jesus was. Love is everyone and everything, and loved everyone. Love loves everyone and everything. God loves everyone and everything. No difference, just like the sun is shining on everyone and everything equally strong and caring. Love is unlimited time to ascend to God. And love finally is humility. Right, Carol? What do you think?
Right, sunshine. Thank you for this beautiful, beautiful summary. I feel the love and the love feels good.
Right?
Let us say
Yes.
hi to our friends who have joined us before we continue feeling and celebrating the love of God, shall we?
Yes.
We see Stella da Costa. Hello,
Hello,
Stella.
Stella.
Welcome, beautiful
Welcome.
child of God. Hello,
Yes.
Sabrina Garcia. Welcome,
Hello,
beautiful child of
Sabrina.
God. Right? And
Yes.
hello, dear Lou. Nice to see you. Welcome,
Hello,
beautiful child
Lou.
of God.
Blessings.
Yeah, so thank you, Sunshine, for bringing us such a beautiful and rich summary. We are definitely nourishing our souls here for immortality. Thank you so much. And you brought us so many treasures for the soul that we have much to uh, think about and feel, especially because our Master Jesus told Nicodemus, as Sunshine brought up to us through Minister Flaccus as well, that it is not enough to know of God's presence and love. In the words of Master Jesus, we also need to feel it. So, therapeutic question. Number one from for all of us, including ourselves, Sunshine and I, here today, on a scale 0 to 10, how much are we able to feel God's love inside of us because we are divine ourselves? And on the same note, how much are we able to express this love thus far in our current reincarnation? Because as Minister Flaccus explains to us, we are all in this infinite scale of evolution. And so, where are we in this march towards the pure spirits, the Christ level spirits. Where do we see ourselves? We can measure where we see ourselves by our ability to express love. So, how much do you think, dear friend? You don't need to share it with us. This is an inner assessment. So, in your inner journey, how much do you believe, dear friend, that you are able to one, feel yourself as a reflection of God, as Sunshine brought up? And by the same token, how much do you see yourself able to express love? Because we are all meant to express love. This is so educational, and we bring out the best in us. So, to inspire us, I would like to sing a song that our dear Vanessa and Saloni has also shared with us here on Kardec Radio. But we feel the love so much after Sunshine's beautiful summary that it is worth to sing. We believe that Master Jesus himself is so joyful and loving that he would sing along with us as well. So we're going to sing a little bit to help us feel divine and help us connect with the light within, right, Sunshine? So
Sure.
we are going to sing a little bit of the song Have I Told You Lately That I Love You? And we are not going to sing it limited to the romantic framework. We are going to sing it towards God and Jesus because we just learned that we are love, that the divine plasma envelops all of us. So let us sing to celebrate that we are love, and let us dedicate a little bit of this song to the ultimate source of love so we feel even more connected to our divine nature, shall we? If you would
Yes.
like, you can sing along or you could close your eyes. This can be a beautiful therapeutic moment and celebration of life for us. So here we go. Forgive my voice because I am not a professional singer by any means, so I hope not to break any windows out there. But here we go. The song goes. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you, Jesus and God, there's no one above you? Fill my heart with gladness, take away my sadness. Ease my troubles, that's what you do. One more time. Have I told you, dear God, that I love you? Have I told you there's no one else above you? Fill my heart with gladness, take away my sadness, ease my troubles, that's what you do.
Beautiful,
Yay! Thank
Carol.
you, God,
We're
for this
feeling the
beautiful
love for
moment.
sure.
If I broke
Yes.
anybody's window, please let us know.
Not in California.
Not in California. Good. I'm glad
Oh.
to hear that. Yes. So, why do we sing, friends? Not because we are professional by any means, but because this is a good exercise to help us feel how connected we are to the divine plasma. And so let us practice singing in this next 24 hours now that we are. Oh, thank you, Nora. You are too kind. Thank you so much. You are way too kind. God bless you for your kindness. But, anyways, let us practice singing this next 24 hours. Why not? Because when we sing, we raise our vibrations, we change the frequency of our inner world. And as Sunshine so beautifully explained to us uh, in this program, we are the ones who choose through our free will who we attune ourselves with. So, question for us. In the spiritual realm, there's no quarantine because there's no risk of coronavirus pandemic over there. So, have we thought about the fact that the discarnates are free to go out and about as much as they would like, and that they can hang out with us, and that there's no social distancing for them? So, in reality, we are not alone at all whatsoever. So, though we may not be opening the physical doors of our homes to visitors due to the social distancing, for the discarnates, there is no such thing. So, who are we opening the doors of our homes spiritually speaking? That is the question. Therapeutic question number 2. Therapeutic question number 1 was, do we feel God's love within? And therapeutic question number 2 is, who are we opening the doors of our homes to? As children often play, knock, knock, who's there, right? The scarlet spirits are right now going, knock, knock, who's there? And through the book Liberation, we have, as Sunshine so beautifully explained, a unique opportunity to see the lower spheres in detail. So we have no doubt that there are many brothers and sisters of ours who are in need of support and who are not on the same page as we are. So who are we opening our doors to? The higher spirits like Mentor Flaccus and those who already love us? Or are we opening the doors of our home to those who are in need of love? How do we know whom we are opening our doors to? Because for sure they are saying, knock, knock, who's there? Right now. So who are we letting in? How do we know? We know through the nature of our feelings and through the nature of our thoughts. This is why it's good for us to sing, because it helps us to elevate our vibrations. So where are we, dear friends? If we in this pandemic are letting ourselves be dominated by feelings of despair, feelings of hopelessness, feelings of sadness, in grief of what we apparently lack, then we for sure, as Sunshine explained, will connect with minds that are alike. And the despair, sadness, and hopelessness will go even higher inside of us. But we now know for sure through Mentor Flaccus and Sunshine's beautiful summary that we have free will to choose. So you may be asking us here, Sunshine, Carol, is it normal for us to feel a little sad? Is it normal for us to feel a little depressed? And the answer is yes. Because we are, I'm sure Sunshine would say the same, right, Sunshine?
Yes, of course.
Because we are in a challenging circumstance. So it's okay to not feel on a high note 24/7. And it's okay to acknowledge our emotions. But it's even more okay for us to exercise our discernment. As Sunshine brought up in her summary, we have been blessed with reasoning, right, Sunshine, for 40,000 years, you said in your
Can you
summary?
imagine? Yes.
Whoa, this is a Mamma Mia moment, as I like to joke. Yes, so we have been blessed with reasoning for 40,000 years, so we shall use it. We use it to say, I have a choice. Do I want to hang out sadness, or do I want to help Master Jesus and the higher spirits to cleanse the vibratory tone of our earth? And you may say, but Carol, I'm not doing much because I can't leave home. How am I going to help? Good question. How are you going to help? By praying, thinking happy thoughts, feeling happy thoughts, being joyful. You are contributing actively to changing the vibratory makeup of the earth. And the sooner we all join forces with the higher realm to change the vibratory makeup of the earth, the sooner we will move to a different stage in our evolution, individually and collectively. So God and Jesus and Mentor Flackers, they are counting on all of us. They are recruiting us. Consider yourself recruited. I'm going to talk to each and every one of you whom I can see. And Sunshine is coming along as well. We are saying this together, right, Sunshine?
Yes,
We are
yes,
all
Carol.
being recruited. Let's say, yes,
Yes.
Lou Niconiello, Jesus and God, they are recruiting you. Stella, you are recruited, believe it or not. Nora Brazil, you are super recruited. Mark Carlos, you just joined us. You are recruited in the army of God and Jesus Christ. Everyone is recruited. What is your mission? Your mission is to elevate the vibratory makeup of the earth. Have you guys ever seen the movie Mission Impossible? This just reminds me of when Tom Cruise as an actor in that movie would get his mission and it would say, be careful, this message will self-destroy in 5 seconds. The good news is that God's message, unlike Tom Cruise's message, will not be destroyed at all. The message will be out there in a beautiful display with shining lights, calling on all of us, dear friends. We can join forces for the good. As a matter of fact, we are incarnated right now because God believes in our divine nature, and God believes that we can co-construct a beautiful world, right? We have to sing Louie, I'm strong later in the program. We will sing Louie, I'm strong. And Nora Brazil is saying, yes, get our batches. You're right. Nora, you got it. Let us all visualize ourselves wearing the star of Christ on our hearts here because we all accepted his invitation. In the book Paul and Stevens, which Sunshine loves as well, right? Sunshine, it's a
Yes.
beautiful read. In the preface, Emmanuel says that we are all personally called by Master Jesus, that the invitation is personal to us. Guess what? You and I and Sunshine and all of us, and those of you who are listening on the Kardec Radio app, this is for you as well. You are all being invited to join forces in the army of love, as Sunshine beautifully brought up to us. So, yes, we interact with the scarlet spirits that are not on the same page as the proposal of the Christ. But if we embrace the proposal of the Christ, we know what the answer is. The only healing force that can be truly transformative is love. So, would you like to help Master Jesus and, of course, God Let us pray for the spirits because the sunshine brought to us. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Sunshine, for summarizing all the Mamma Mia's so beautifully. As Sunshine brought to us. Um, we cannot change or invite the spirits that are not on the same page as the Christ to join the Christ by using the same means as they have. Right, Sunshine?
Right.
Instead, we are to use different means. And what is different than hate, than discord, than despair, than hopelessness? It is love. So when not sure what to do, love. I love hearts, as Sunshine knows. Every time we communicate, we exchange a million hearts, right, Sunshine? You
Yes.
and I are addicted to hearts.
Yes.
So, if you guys would like, when you think of the discarnate spirits to help Master Jesus in elevating, changing the vibratory makeup of the earth, visualize beautiful hearts. Think of your favorite color. Is it pink? Is it yellow? Is it golden like sunshine? Sunshine? Is it? If it is, visualize this beautiful heart and visualize this heart sending love and healing energy to everyone. If you have difficulty in relating to a certain person in your life, congratulations, you're on earth. You're supposed to face challenging situations because we are all invited to learn to love at another level. So if you feel challenged in this way, you're not alone. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. What can we do to elevate our vibration and change the nature of that relationship? Visualize that person enveloped in a beautiful heart of light. Anytime you meet with someone virtually now, visualize them enveloped in this heart of light. And as the mentors recently shared with us, that was so beautiful that I would like to share with everyone, we could visualize every person we know receiving flowers of divine love and being immersed in the perfume of love. And we can say to each and every person we know that we believe that their divine nature shall blossom all the more. So rather than turning on the television and tuning in with the lower realms by acting like minions, as we said before. Let us liberate ourselves. This is our moment for liberation. Let us liberate ourselves and mold the good with the most powerful co creator tool that we have, our thoughts. Right, Sunshine?
Yes, girl, you're beautiful. Yes, it's just love is it, and you're speaking so lovely about love that we really feel love. We feel
Yes,
lovely love.
yes, we can
Loving,
feel the
lovely.
love and the love feels
It
good,
feels very
right?
good. Yes.
Yes,
And this is
exactly.
and you know, Mr. Minister Flackers asked two
Mhm,
questions. Remember, one was, why does God allow the negativity? Doesn't matter what kind. He asked in that particular chapter the lower order colonies.
mhm.
But let us remember all the negativity, all the hardship, including this virus, everything. Why does it allow it? It's justice, but love will melt it away. And that's where what you so beautifully just summarized. It's like our redemption and the redemption of this earth lies in loving. It lies, our protection lies in loving, our doing the good lies in loving. Loving is the answer. Love is the answer. Feeling God, always transmuting everything and that into love. And that gives us freedom. That will release us from all the evil that we have on earth. all the
Right.
difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing you also said is like when we switch on the TV, we open the doors to the lower order spirits, right? Well, our guided model, Jesus didn't do it, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Flaccus reminds us of that. Jesus focused on doing the good and working on the forces in outside of the incarnated realm. And that is for us to emulate as well. Jesus was the epitome of loving and caring and helping.
Absolutely, yes.
Never focusing on Caesar, never
Yes.
focusing on what was going on in the flesh and blood on planet Earth, right?
Right,
So
sunshine.
love is
Beautiful.
it.
Yeah, love is it.
Love
And
it is.
remember, friends, that all we need is love. No, I'm not going to sing that right now. But don't worry, I'm not singing right now. But remember, friends, that as spirits who have free will, we are allowed by God who loves us to connect to destructive channels or constructive channels of life. But you may say to Sunshine and I, but we are not doing anything. Oh, yes, you are. You absolutely are. When you're thinking, you're doing. Kardec, in the book The Genesis, chapter 14, he explains to us so beautifully that thoughts are the hands of the spirits. And we are all spirits. Thus, we all have these beautiful hands that we use even without realizing it. So, whenever we are thinking, friends, we are projecting living energy all around us. So, would you like for the quote unquote healing of the planet, as Michael Jackson used to say, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race? So if you're with Michael Jackson, which I'm sure you are, God bless Michael Jackson. Wherever he is, may he receive our love. But yes, if you are with Michael Jackson and you would like to heal the world, make it a better place, what can you do? Think, think love, feel love, believe in love, surrender to love. In that way, you are actively constructing the world that we all want to be a part of. What a beautiful invitation. And in doing so, we liberate ourselves from the
Yes.
destructive currencies. So,
Yes.
the only way to liberate ourselves, friends, as we will see time and again in this beautiful book, is to believe in our very own loving, immortal, eternal essence. So that's the proposal from the mentors today. What a beautiful proposal. Let us spread the love wherever we go, because wherever our thoughts go, I know that we cannot go many places right now. But as Kardec explains in the Spirit's book, the only place, right, Sunshine, the only place where we are completely free is our thoughts. So wherever we go with our thoughts, let us spread love. Let us be love. Let us give love. Let us believe in love. Right, Nora Brazil. Mark Carlos is saying much love to all. Hooray. You got it, Nora Brazil. Sending lots of hearts. Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Nora. Lots of hearts to you. And now I think we can move on to our closing prayer, right? Because we are all
Yes.
geared up
Okay.
with God's love, right?
Yes.
Sunshine.
Yes.
Do
Yeah,
you
Karen,
feel
would you be
geared up?
willing?
Yes, we can share. Would
Good.
you like to share? I
Yes,
can
sure.
start and I will call you for us to finish the prayer, for you to finish the prayer for us, okay?
Okay.
But I'm going to sing a little bit of What a Beautiful World so that we can visualize this new world in and out of us through the words of Louis Armstrong. So, dear friends, bear with me because right now I'm getting the lyrics because I don't want to make a mistake.
Okay.
So, bear with me. We are going to sing together for a little bit, and that will be the background, backdrop, inspirational moment for our prayer. And by the way, I don't know if you guys know, planet Jupiter is undergoing a retrograde process right now, says the astrologists. So we are more influenced by planet Jupiter at this moment. And according to the higher spirits, we know that planet Jupiter is a much more evolved planet. It is a happy planet. And in the Spiritus magazine, which was started by Allan Kardec, we see an interview of Mozart with Kardec, where Mozart comes back from Jupiter, obviously as a discarnate spirit, to tell us what Jupiter is like. And he says, Mozart says to Kardec through the mediums of the time that everything in Jupiter sings, that even the trees sings, the flowers sing, the rivers sing. So that's why we are singing also, so that we are tuned with the happy spirits living in Jupiter, because I am sure they are watching over us and saying, "Go, Earth, go! Go, Earth, go! Go, planet Earth! You can do it! You can do it!" Right, Sunshine?
Yes, Carol. Yes, I love it.
They are our older
Thank
brothers
you.
and sisters, so
Yes,
they are cheering for us. So
definitely.
give us a moment, please, friends. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your kindness. We're getting there. Thank goodness for the internet. Okay, here we go. Sorry if I break windows. Yes, Stella Mozart communicated with Kardec at his time, and Kardec published this communication in the Spiritist magazine of his time. But our dear Dr. Vanessa Anceloni, who is now the editor-in-chief of the Spiritus magazine in English, has also published this conversation in English. After the program, we will place the link of this report or article in the Spiritus magazine for you so you can read what Jupiter is like. This is our destination. As Jesus has told us, there are many homes or houses in our Father's universe. So it is our destination to be a part of this beautiful happy world. Whoa, Stella, you are a musician? Wow, what an honor to have you here. So you're going to be all the more inspired in your mission through Mozart. Let us sing. We will place the link for you guys after the program. But let us sing now. This is What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. So visualizing a beautiful, wonderful world where people say I love you even without words. We thank you, beloved God, for trusting us to be reincarnated at this time because you believe in our ability to love. We, with much gratitude, say to you that now, finally, 40,000 years later, we are able to say that we consciously love you. We love you, dear God, and we love too that we are the result of your love. We pray so that we can find love in everything and in everyone. Help us, dear God, to see love in ourselves, to see love in the little pets, to see love in the little flowers, plants in the air, literally in the air. Help us believe that love can heal. Help us believe that love is patient. Help us believe that love transforms. Help us believe that love is benevolent. Help us believe that love is within everyone. Help us send love to everyone who is transitioning to the spiritual world. Help them be enveloped in this infinite embrace of love, divine breath, divine plasma. Let us remember that love is the divine hope of heaven. Let us remember that we are too the result of this hope. Let us feel that no one is abandoned. Let us feel your loving embrace towards the entire universe. Let us pray for all of those who are suffering right now, those who are being abused physically, emotionally, spiritually, sexually. May they feel the healing forces of your love. May everyone with whom we need to reconcile feel that this beautiful world is meant for them as well. Let us let go of our grudges and bathe ourselves in divine hope. And with much gratitude and divine hope shining in our hearts, we pass the word to our dear sunshine to finalize this prayerful moment. Oh, our dear sunshine is not here at the moment. We don't know why. So we appreciate your love, dear friends, and remember, let us sing a bit more then and say, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me human race. That is the proposal. Let us all believe in the power of love. Many, many blessings, and thank you for your kindness with my voice. I am really not a professional singer or musician, so Stella, thank you for your patience. Friends, thank you for your patience. Please receive our embrace of infinite love and let us believe in the power of love and allow love to shine through always. Many beautiful blessings, dear friends, and all the very, very, very best to you. Big kiss and big hug. And we will post the link on the Spiritus Magazine article right there for you in a moment. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you, dear children of God. Let us love all the more always. Thank you.